Hey guys, welcome back to Boiling Point Faith and Fire, where truth gets uncomfortable and pressure reveals what you actually believe. I'm Brandon. I never say that in the show. That's so weird. And here's the deal: faith isn't just what you say on Sunday, it's what you steward daily with your mind, your body, your choices. You don't get to pray for strength and then fuel yourself like garbage and call it spiritual warfare. You need to steward your health in this world right now and act like it matters because it genuinely does. And you guys, I don't start my day without my oil shot, and not because it's trending, because it's not the shot that's trending, okay? But because I'm done playing games with the inflammation, the brain fog, done pretending I'm fine when I'm not. Faith and discipline go together, period. Every purchase you make, you guys, and I have a blood test to back this up so you're not just guessing on a supplement, but it helps keeps the lights on for the Boiling Point podcast. So I appreciate your guys' support. And as always, I am here with my co-host Rory, the grounded one, uh, the one who keeps us pretty balanced before I get us canceled. Hello, Rory. How are you today?
Oh, that was hilarious. That was really good. If you guys are watching the video, she literally stopped. She was like, "What am I going to say about him today?" Um, so I
That's
am doing
funny.
splendid. I'm better than I deserve, and yeah, it's been really, really good. So we have some big news coming in our personal lives that we've been working on, which is really neat. But other than that, which I can't talk about now, so teaser for later. But
Well, that's
uh,
lame. I want the tea. What the heck?
I can't give you the tea yet because we're not
Uh,
we're not announcing it just yet. But it's big stuff. Huge, huge stuff. So, but other than that, hey, we're doing great and sitting here like you are in complete and total disbelief as to what I see on all of my feeds and in the news
yeah, you
today.
go first. Tag your it.
I'll open with a simple little thing. Give me a break about ICE and the TSA and this whole thing. Democrats will not allow any funding to go through for government workers at this point, which just sort of makes me, I just shake my head because ICE is already funded. So this isn't even about ICE. There's no protest here. This is quite literally, we don't want to pay the government workers anymore. And
Yep.
so Trump goes, well, then I'm going to send ICE to do the job of the government
Won't
workers.
do.
And now they're arresting illegals at the airport, which I think is great.
Ah.
And I'm just like, you know what? How much more stupidity can we all
Ah.
stomach? I just, and one thing that's been very, I'm going to let you deal with all this. I'm
Yeah.
literally putting the crumbs down and then getting out of the way. One of the things that I also have noticed is that the progressives on my personal feed, right, are silent.
Mm,
I'm not hearing anything from anybody. I'm not seeing hardly any hate. The only hate I'm seeing is on the huge platforms that I follow in the comments from the bots
hmm.
and the paid haters. Like, there's no authentic, natural person I went to school with and who just doesn't get it. They're not talking.
Yeah.
They're sitting there like, what am I going to even say? I wouldn't want to be in that spot because
Yeah.
I don't know how you answer for anything anymore. When Hakeem Jeffries goes on, the news and says, and I use the word news lightly, and says Donald Trump has deployed TSA to the airports to kill people. I don't even know how to that that would have been he would have been run out of Congress
Yeah.
20 years ago for something like that.
Hmm.
And they just get to say whatever they want. And I think the people at this point are just almost laughing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of the show. How can you
Yeah.
even say this anymore? And uh, I'm gonna throw it to you now because otherwise I'm really gonna just sort of throw my hands up and be done for the whole show. I want to
Yeah.
reserve a little bit of energy outside my frustration level to maybe come back with a comment later. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna deliver all that to you, okay, to hammer away.
Well, I definitely feel the frustration. I think everyone is exhausted. Everyone's exhausted. He's just fueling the useful idiots so that they can scream and cry and kick and have a reason to protest and whatever, money well spent, right? The influencers are getting paid to post. The liberals are getting paid to protest. Like they're just feeding the machine. But I do think there is a lot of people are just burnt out, burnt out on it because it is just so ridiculous. And yeah, I go through last night. It was pretty late too, so I feel like I saw a different side of my feed scrolling so late because usually it's early morning. Um, And there's a lot of fear mongering, and I'm just like, come on. Um, the airport stuff. I mean, the only thing I really cared about this week, you guys, as far as airports are concerned, is the plane that crashed into the fire truck. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Um, but if you look at the plane and the damage that was done, it definitely, not that I haven't thought that 9/11 was a conspiracy, but I mean, you guys, just research both accidents and what happens to a plane um on impact, because you're telling me a fire truck does this but it can go through a building. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's all I care about the airports. And there is a lot of hype about get to the airport because it's dangerous and it's scary and it's packed. um y'all, my kid just flew to Italy last week out of Chicago, and in New York airport, no issues anywhere. So the drama you're hearing, the fear mongering, like most of it's not true. Um, and do they get a photo op? I'm sure they have some people going in when one airport, what is it, like Atlanta is where ICE is right now, I think. And so they get the one picture of them like clocking in, so they're all kind of there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so, I'm so over the media. But my radar today. I don't talk to my mom too much, and I actually talked to her the other day, and she's telling me about some stuff that's happening in Colorado. um I don't know if you, like, with your kids being older, now when I go to the kid, like if you go to any public school for any reason, you have to hit a buzzer. All the doors are locked 24/7, and you have to select a buzzer, and you have to tell them who you are and who you're there for, or what you're there for. um Apparently in Colorado, banks are doing this now, so you can't just walk into the bank anymore. um and they're starting to do it for churches as well. And Colorado's already on my radar for a lot of reasons. But I'm asking myself, like, why is this happening? Because, do I really think it's about safety? Because that's how they're going to say it. I don't. I think it's just another one of those behavior conditioning grids, like rewiring how people move through the world. Because you used to be able just to walk into places freely. Now you have to wait, you have to get approved. You used to assume access, and now it looks like they want you to kind of assume the restriction. And that shift alone, when it comes to psychology 101, less independence, more compliance, more permission based living, they're not making a big announcement about it. It's just the repetition, and they're doing it. And part of it is, I don't think banks are as stable as they look anymore. And so, yeah, it's less chaos if people are coming into that. I think this is also part of that cash exit strategy. Like physical cash, they want it to be phased out, right? And they can't force it. They know that. So they could do this by friction, like make in-person baking so annoying that you're not going to go there, reduce that teller interaction, push everything to apps, because over time, what's going to happen? Cash becomes inconvenient, digital becomes default, and now they're tracking everything. So nobody even has to ban the cash, it just quietly dies. Um, and then I don't know, like,
Yeah.
is it about the security? I think it's just that fear layering effect. Like if you stack enough small things like school threats, even the fake ones, locked doors, security language, like, I spoke to a guest the other day who's talking about all the kids in public school have this trauma, like they're traumatized because of all the school shootings they hear about. So you got kids that have never been through the experience, who already have like locked in trauma in their little bodies because they know about stuff they shouldn't know about, right? Like we made this a whole world problem. But I just feel like, again, keep the world in that low level tension. They're easier to influence, quick to obey. Nobody's going to ask questions. You know, it's a coordinated system.
The
It's
school things, the school thing's been going on for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you on this. The school thing though, like my kids' high school.
Yeah.
My son's only been gone for I think 4 years now out of high school. My youngest.
Oh, and it's been like
Um,
that.
oh yeah, and it was like
Okay.
that. I mean, I would bring them stuff and drop stuff off that they forgot at home and all this other
Yeah.
kind of whatever. They weren't feeling good. Hey, Dad, can you bring me some Dayquil? Because I
Yeah.
got track tonight and I'm not missing practice.
Right.
Stuff like this.
Right.
But yeah, sure. So I mean, I've smuggled some stuff into the schools.
Right.
The unauthorized cold medicine once in a while and
Right.
aspirin or goodness gracious, the occasional snack. My oldest was
Right.
like, Dad, I don't have time to get out because I have to do this project, on my break. Can you bring me a Subway sandwich? And I'm like sneaking it into them. But they had to buzz me in. I had to show
Yeah.
them an ID, you know. They knew who I was. I still had to show an ID because they scanned it.
Imagine that. An
So it was
ID.
like, yeah, what do you know?
Whoa.
And that's the point I was making. Thank you.
Whoa.
So I don't have a problem with things like that because it's more protective and I get it, but I get where you're going. It's like you start there and then
Yeah.
you say, well, here's the behavior. The bank
Yeah.
thing, I mean, if they were doing it in Indiana, then I would say, okay, maybe there's a problem.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that's kind of where maybe they're trying to slide it by. The blue states that are doing it are saying it's because of the high crime. Well, they do have ridiculously high crime.
Oh, I mean,
So,
imagine
but
that correlation.
they're the ones who can then slide it in. Like in
Yeah.
Indiana, we don't let illegals just run around.
Hmm.
ICE goes and picks them up, and the cops pick them up, and ICE goes and picks them up peacefully from the cops. And you can point to like two like rallies in Indiana where like 14 people showed up because
Yeah.
they know this isn't the place for it.
Yeah.
So that's already under control. But then, oddly enough, we don't have this huge high crime problem either
Yeah.
outside of our couple of very blue cities where we do have that problem.
Right.
But again, they're not hitting banks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm kind of
Hmm.
like, the more I've been thinking about it since you brought it up, I would wonder,
Yeah.
for instance, I'd love to do a deep dive on that and wonder if, like in Colorado, has there been a spike in bank robberies?
Yeah.
My guess would be no.
Not at all.
And then you're completely right.
Yeah.
Because the people who are committing the crime, person on person. They're
Yeah.
wiping people out in the street. They're punching you in the face for no reason and taking your purse and your wallet
Yeah.
and your bags. They're not organizing, a heist.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, that's what my people used to do.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so we're done with that. We
Yeah.
we phased that out now. We're making our money as Italians. We're
Yeah.
making our money in illegal gambling. That's what we do. But I mean, come on. The so that does make me wonder. That's a really really
Isn't
good
it weird?
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would bet that there has not been any kind of spike in the bank robbery stuff.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll throw on that in terms of the behavior is that months ago in Indiana, they were hitting us with we're not producing pennies anymore. So
Right.
be careful if you pay cash because we probably
Hmm.
can't give you all your change.
Yep.
And they were trying to get people to switch to card, right?
Yep.
Well, I've noticed that nobody in Indiana has even got the sign up anymore.
Yep.
They all just changed their pricing because people here want to pay cash, and they
Hmm.
decided to stop fighting with people. And even if they raised the price a couple of cents in order to not have to give out pennies,
Yeah.
none of us cared as long as we had to keep using our cash.
Right.
In Michigan, I stopped there a couple of days ago when I
Yeah.
was over the border, and there were six signs walking
Yeah.
into
They're
the
everywhere.
building,
Hmm.
and I'm like, okay, so
Hmm.
this is a state by state thing. So it
Hmm.
isn't that the government federally isn't producing pennies, it's the blue states are
Yeah.
trying to change your behavior. So I think you're probably right,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah. And I know the way my mom was kind of coming from this is she thinks there's a
Oh.
big event coming, right? Like they're preparing for something. And I think that's what they would like us to think because then that engages our fear
Hmm.
and we are unsettled and we are just constantly thinking like something big is coming. But no, I really think this is just another one of those the system is tightening, patterns, you guys, just the patterns and the truth of everything that has come out with the corruption in our world. That's I just say connect the dots that other people won't. And it's interesting. It's very interesting because my bank is not like that. And I'm in a blue state. So I could walk in and out anytime. Fabulous. And I don't know. Colorado, though, you guys are on my
Yeah.
radar.
I
Um,
don't bank, so they can all have it.
Yeah.
I'm off the grid. I'm as off the grid as you can be without actually owning like property.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I know. And we're not as off the grid as Ben would like. He would like to be off the grid completely.
Oh yeah.
Um but
Oh yeah.
yeah, we're not there. Another Colorado thing. Okay, I'll just read this to you guys here. Um this is I love you guys, okay? I
Here we
promise
go.
I will come back for you at the end of this cuz this isn't
Here we go.
in Colorado you can rape a child and get probation instead of prison. A bill to change that just failed for not the first year in a row, not the second year, the third year in a row. Four Democrats voted it down. Four, two, three. Um, they killed the bill, and all the bill was requiring. Okay, the whole world wants death, like public death, like hang these guys, right? All the bill is asking for is prison time for convicted child rapists. Okay. Um, Under current Colorado law, a person convicted of sexually assaulting a child can be sentenced to probation instead of prison. The bill would have eliminated that option for certain felony child sexual assault cases. Um, yeah, in the state of Colorado, you can rape multiple children as long as it's only one time and receive probation. And they killed the same bill in 2024, 8-3. This was the narrowest version yet. We have Mike Weissman, Katie Wallace, Adrian Benavides, and Nick Henriksen. Disgusting. Y'all are demons. Like, you're literally not human. You're not human. So it's just crazy to me. And they're saying it's taking away judicial discretion. Okay. Um,
Good.
you guys, let's not play dumb. Like, the fact that this is even a conversation is still wild to me. So you're telling me that we're sitting here debating whether someone who assaults a child should automatically go to prison. I don't care about judicial discretion and case nuance. If you touch a kid, number one, why are you alive? Why are you alive? Why are we even entertaining options? And the part that should really make people pause isn't just that the bill failed, it's that it has failed over and over and over again. That's not a one off mistake. Again, pattern. Wow, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. And come on, I get it. Laws are complicated, right? Categories are broad and not every case can look the same, but regular people, okay? Like, we're not crazy for looking at this and going, what the hell are we doing? Because when something this basic starts feeling like it's negotiable, and that's what they've made this seem like, people don't feel protected. The system is playing games with something that is purely black and white. And the state disgusts me. I mean, Colorado alone, it is one of the most pro-abortion access states in the country. In the country, it is legal with basically no gestational limits. None. And I don't, in case you guys don't know, that means any point in pregnancy. If I'm going in for a C-section tomorrow, I could show up an hour early and be like, nah, I'm done. Take the baby. Kill it. I could do that. It's a protected right. They have locked it in as a protected right in the state constitution. And so the government, everybody's crying about Trump. He can't even restrict it for you guys. That's it. And the greatest news, Colorado, okay, Medicaid and public insurance now cover abortion. Y'all are paying for this. I want to throw up. It's protected and funded and expanded access. That is crazy to me. You guys have primaries coming up. This is not a small election. It's huge for you with your House seats, your statewide offices. There's like 800 positions on the ballots across the state of Colorado. You guys are, it's a Democrat controlled, and that is why we're seeing such horrific things here happen. But you guys understand, like, it's just not kind of leaning one way. Colorado's making its stance clear.
Yeah.
And they didn't just keep abortion legal, right? They locked it into the Constitution and they started paying for it. That tells you everything about where leadership is right now. And I will tell you, like, it is Denver, it is Boulder, and it's everyone from California who left California because of what? Oh, policies, frustration. And then they come and turn Colorado into California. It makes sense. So people are shocked about, their bills failing. Like, you're looking at the symptom, not the system. And the primaries are where that system either gets reinforced or challenged. But if the same people keep winning those, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change. And that means, like, outside the big cities, okay? Because my family's still there. I've been there lots of times. Everywhere else is rural, conservative, pro gun, pro freedom, traditional values, common sense. Common sense. Huge agricultural communities there. You guys cannot keep allowing yourselves to be outnumbered, because I do think there is hope, but a few things have to change. Like, first of all, you guys need some high quality candidates. Okay. No,
That's an issue.
that's huge. Somebody has
Uh,
to step up.
that's an issue. There are no right wingers running in Colorado for anything
Yeah.
that
No.
honestly have been worth voting for in forever, because they're not spending any money there.
Yeah.
The National Party is like, well, we don't have any hope in Colorado, so we're not going to spend any money. There's no assistance with elections. There's no assistance with advertising. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Joe Schmo from down the street who was willing to get beat up for a little while, as a
Yeah.
Republican, out there. My oldest son, his wife lived in Colorado. They moved out there. They loved the area. They loved the
Yeah.
mountains and the environment and the whole bit. They lived in a conservative area, one of those small conservative pockets that they have out there. So
Yeah.
to them, life was great. And then my daughter-in-law got pregnant, and they started having the conversations about, well, as soon as we become parents,
Hmm.
the state is in charge of our kid. So
Really?
it's not even, hey, we want to talk about where we're going to raise them, where we're going to go to school. And public schools in Colorado were not an option for them. And so they said, okay, well, we're not going to stay here long term, because I'm never putting my kid in Colorado schools. Then they went, but for the 5 years until the kid gets to school, the state has control over my baby,
Yep.
according to all this. I mean, they literally can decide they want my kid to be trans tomorrow, and I have no vote.
No
And
vote.
it took them, I don't know, maybe another hour to decide they need to move back to Indiana.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
they're out. They moved this past week. Thank God they're
Yeah.
gone. They're no longer in that blue hell of
Yeah.
a state, and they are back in the safe confines of the normal Midwest in a
Yeah.
Indiana rural location that shall go undisclosed. But I'm very happy that that happened. But
Yeah.
you're going to have a mass exodus of Colorado
That's
at some point for people to wake up and start seeing this. So, okay. Can I go back just for a minute, because
yeah.
you brought up so much
Yeah.
the child predator law,
Yeah.
the I mean the conditional part of it, right? I mean it because in my mind I'm always trying to look at it like, legally speaking, where are we? And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
okay, if you wanted to leave it up to judicial discretion because a guy who's 18 has, relations with a girl who's 16, and then they want
Yeah.
to throw him in jail for rape.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe there's some judicial discretion there, but
Yeah.
that's not what we're talking about. What
Exactly.
we're that wasn't the condition
Hmm.
that was put out, right? The condition that's put on the probation as opposed to jail time is you can only do it to a child once. Somebody
Yeah.
somewhere actually uttered the words, well, if they only molest this child once, I guess it's okay. But if they do it twice, then they deserve to go to jail. What?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I mean, when you just look at the verbiage, that verbiage comes from somewhere. Human beings came up with that condition. There was a conversation among grown men and women saying it only happened once, so it's okay. I'm sorry. Is there a
Mhm.
study someplace that I'm unaware of that if a child is only raped by an adult once, then they're fine?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is the evil that you have there. So even if you have some other agenda or you're thinking, well, it's about 18, 17-year-olds, look,
Mm-mm.
no matter what, you have no leg to stand on. This is why all the progressives in my feet are quiet.
Yep.
You all know you have no leg to stand on. This is disgusting. This is immoral. This is absolute evil. Okay.
Yeah.
This is evil from hell that is saying you can hurt a child once and it's legal.
Yep.
What in the world happened?
Mm-hmm.
How'd we get there?
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm done. Sorry. Wow.
It's so crazy to me. We're going to
Mm.
Nebraska now, because no one is talking about this. I searched it up, and I had to do a lot, kind of digging, which I guess is kind of normal for the things that we talk about. But anyway,
You do a lot of
um,
digging.
yeah, the Nebraska fire that no news is reporting, um, which I never heard of it. It's now heading towards 1 million acres, and the people that live there are saying, uh, the motive behind this in their state might be burning out the farmland and cattle ranches and a big move to seize the water. And it's not just any water, you guys, it's an entire massive aquifer that undergirds most of the state. So, what takes that amount of water? This is interesting.
Oh, no way.
Data centers, maybe four,
Oh,
four data centers slated for Nebraska. So the burning of the farmland, we know is not an accident. They've done it. They've done it intentionally, and they is the government entity, whatever you want to call it, the little demon monsters running around. But that's how you wipe generational ownership off the map. Okay, we get rid of the farms, and you're doing a lot of things for evil at this point because Bill Gates has the fake meat out now, which we've moved to a butcher now because I don't trust. Like, I can't just go to Walmart and buy a pack of meat anymore. Like, I've seen what he's doing, seen what they're putting into it. So anyway, yeah, you wipe this off. You wipe out generational ownership. You don't have to fight farmers. You don't seize land. You just make it unstable. You devalue it. And then what do every time there's a big natural disaster that is never natural? You got the relief, the buyouts, the redevelopment. Didn't we just talk about this with California? They did the same thing. And suddenly, the land that fed families for decades is owned by corporations or government backed projects. And you stack that with the water in the country. They have the biggest freshwater source in the country. You don't have to control the whole country if you control the water underneath it. Okay? Yay, AI infrastructure, yay, cooling systems. So, this isn't about the fire, this is about access. And you guys can put the pieces together. You can say I wear a tinfoil hat. I haven't been wrong with everything I've said that there when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, burn the land, shift ownership, redirect resources towards tech infrastructure, and nobody announces the plan. Of course, nobody's going to be like, hey, we're taking farmland for servers because that's going to piss people off. So instead, everything looks super disconnected. Ooh, fires. Oh no, here come the insurance issues because that's not a part of it. Okay. And then farmers struggling and tech is quietly exploding. Wow, convenient timing? I don't think so.
hmm.
I don't think so. I think this benefits too many people, too many corporations, too much benefit for the government. And what do we know? The proof and truth of what they have shown us: disasters create openings. This is not random. This is a power shift. And look who's paying the price and who's going to help them pick up the pieces. It's not the fire. They want the land underneath it.
Yeah.
So
That's
insane.
big because Nebraska is run almost completely by Republicans. So are we getting to the point where I mean, we're always associating a party with an issue.
Yeah.
There's a party, there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So, Democrats, it's, what they're doing with abortion and pedophilia
Mm-hmm.
and, crime and all this other stuff. Is it are Republicans the ones now who are forwarding the AI databases and tech? Is that where we're falling in now with them? Because Nebraska's
Ooh,
run very red, and I'm kind of like, wow, I wonder if that's happening because I know they're doing that in Indiana, and we're having a problem with it.
yeah. And see, that's the
Yeah.
thing. There probably was a problem. And so
Mm.
if you say,
Wow.
I'm sure there was pushback, right? And so who starts the fire? Start a fire. Not a big deal. It just takes one person to be bought and paid for, one person to create a natural disaster like that. And so,
That's
yeah,
true.
do I think
Yeah.
people can be bought and paid for? And then what do they have? What can they do now? Can they continue to fight? Absolutely. But that's a hell of a battle, hell of an uphill battle. And at this point, it's not even red or blue. It's not even politics anymore. Like the world just has a morality problem. Like they are missing so many key points to humanity. And so I think anybody that already is in politics has sold out on some level. They have. I've seen behind the curtain, and
Yeah.
I've heard from people that I'm close to. Like it is, you sell your soul. You sell a part of it. And so once you do it just a little, how easy is it for someone to open the door to continue to get you to sell out and to buy into whatever? And what do they care? If you're taken care of, your family's taken care of, you don't care what happens to the people. Like you start
Yeah.
dehumanizing people at some level when you get into leadership. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know a lot of Republicans that support the data centers. So I would be shocked if they're behind this on that level, but it's
Yeah.
wild.
Ouch. I had not heard of that. So you
Yeah.
dug deep on that one. I hadn't heard of that one yet.
Yeah.
Hasn't hit me, but wow.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I
been
mean, farmland in
happening.
Nebraska. Geez,
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
that's what Nebraska is.
Exactly. That's all it is. I mean,
Been there a few times. I think they have one Starbucks in the whole state.
oh my gosh, that driving to Colorado, Nebraska takes like 2 days to get through, and it's all the same view. And I'm just like, this is so, it is the worst. I hate driving through Nebraska. Like, I love you guys. Cheers to a red state. I am jealous. You have better leadership, but I do have a better view. Um, but
For now.
yeah, for now. Anyway, another thing I saw come up that I saw in a few feeds because people that I can align with on core ethics and values were like, I know this isn't real. He didn't have to actually say this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announces all doctors will now be required to study nutrition. Everyone's like, wait, what? Like they weren't already doing that? Um, you guys, I have told you many times, health is a business. Health is a business. So they learned some nutrition, but it's very minimal. And do you think any doctor pays what they pay to go to college and people take their money to teach them that the sun is free health, that water is free health, that moving your body is free health, and whole food is free health? No. It's very minimal what they do. The system is built way more around treatment than prevention. You understand? It's a business. The money is in managing disease, not eliminating it. Find the proof for yourself. Pharma makes billions on chronic conditions that come from nutrition, okay, or lack thereof. Hospitals make money on the procedures you need, and insurance runs the whole game in the middle.
Yeah.
So when you see someone like, RFK, I I just thank God for him. The first common sense person we've had come in, and yay for all the distractions so that he's getting to do a lot of work here, I think, because the whole world is on fire. And I feel like that's really great because he's like, I'm just gonna keep going, right?
Yeah.
But that's it. He is pushing nutrition into the conversation, and it's pissing everybody off because it shifts that power away from pills and towards personal responsibility. So not only is Big Pharma a business, useful idiots are keeping them in it because no one wants to stand up and take massive responsibility to say, oh, maybe it's my fault that I'm an extra 100 pounds. Maybe it's my fault that I am uncomfortable when I move, or that, maybe it's my fault. You guys, this is the thing. Nutrition has always been sidelined. If you look at the food pyramid, what were we taught? And then think about the diseases that came out. Let's raise everybody's blood pressure. Alzheimer's running rampant because fat is bad. No, babe, your brain needs the fat. Okay. That's why you have so many people with Alzheimer's currently, why you have people with high blood pressure, and now all of a sudden statins are an issue. Duh. Did you think they were going to help you? You know, like nutrition was sidelined because it worked too well when people actually apply it. If people fix their inflammation, if they stabilize blood sugar, if you clean up your diet, you're going to see the drops in obesity, in diabetes, in heart disease. Look at pictures from the past of what people look like in the 40s and the 50s and this. You did not see obese ass people in the 60s. It it was like a freak show at a circus to see someone so big. And what do you see now? Everywhere. Just it's not okay. And what happened? The food pyramid got flipped upside down. Fast food goes rampant. You're a useful idiot. They got lifelong customers. That's it. And so if we teach nutrition, if we teach health, what happens? And doctors are not going to, there's no job security in going against the system. And I've heard a few doctors like that have bowed out or just done private practices and dismantled from the system because they didn't agree with it. So I think there's some discernment, but you've got these kids that are just going to college to get that doctor degree. They're going to just be book nerds, and book nerds don't follow values, morals, common sense, ethics. They go for money. They're going to make the money. That's it, Or a doctor is very simply just going to be like, eat better. You need to eat better. And then there's no real guidance, because I get
Right.
that some people just genuinely don't know. Like, there really is not a lot of food education unless you look for it yourself, right? Then it's everywhere. But like, no one knows about that stuff. So, it's
Well,
the system. It's the
yeah,
system.
I was going to say, and then the confusion I think is also on purpose.
Yes.
Because is it calories? Is it macros? Is it
Yeah.
fat? Is it carbs? Is it,
Yeah.
I mean, we are inundated every day with
Yep.
it's, I think this morning I saw five different things. I must have paused on a carnivore diet thing at
Oh,
some point. I
that
was
is a
probably
good
looking at
one.
steak going, man, should I have steak tonight?
Yeah.
But apparently I paused on it just long enough for it to be in my feed for a while.
Yeah.
And so I think I got 10 things just
Yeah.
this morning on the carnivore diet plan and all this
Right.
stuff. And, eat butter by the
Yeah.
stick and eat meat and salt. And I'm like, okay, look, I think anything in excess is probably bad. But,
Yeah.
you know, you're reading that. And then it's, well, then there's the Mediterranean diet. And that's
Oh
what
yeah.
it gets rid of all your inflammation. Right. And so, I've got, people telling me, hey, you're inflamed here and here. So you got to go with the Mediterranean diet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, but wait,
Yeah.
everything lies in the face of everything else.
Yeah.
So, I'm not when I heard the thing about RFK going, they're going to have to
Yeah.
study nutrition. I was like, what part and from who
Yeah.
and what about nutrition, right?
Yeah.
Because we can't even agree on what it is anymore
Yeah.
because they've diluted the info stream so bad.
Yep.
Are protein shakes good for you or are they bad for you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my son lived on them for 4 years and won a bunch of
Yeah.
awards and got a scholarship. So it was good for him,
Right.
but as soon as he got done with that, he got off of it. And now he's a lot thinner, but he feels great.
Yeah.
So, so what was it helping him with?
Right.
I'm not sure.
Right.
Anyway, I'm just going down the rabbit hole now, but
Yeah.
it really does make you wonder, like, what is actually the definition of
Yeah.
nutrition
Yeah.
anymore?
Real food. I mean, that's what I think it is. And I think everybody's body is going to be different. Like, I know, what our blood is different, our chemistry is different, everything's different. My brain is different. I know what I need to fuel my brain. I put butter in my mushroom blend every morning, right? Like, it's just what I do. Um but like everyone's different. How much of this you need? Real food, like stay out of the box stuff, stay out of the freezer aisle. Like
Mm,
eat meat and stuff you can make yourself. Even pasta, like our pasta's tainted. The
for sure.
stuff is tainted. If you can
Yeah.
make your own, fabulous. Like you're gonna do great. Like, but I mean, it's just whole food, like stuff you actually have to cook is step one.
Right.
The perimeter of the grocery store, is that what they say? The perimeter of the grocery store. That's it. I go to the butcher, and that's our food. That's what we're eating. Sometimes the kids grab oranges. I don't really care about that, but it's just different for everybody.
That makes
And
sense. It's like the butcher, the seafood, the produce,
yeah,
the around. Yeah, okay.
yep.
I can see that. That
The
makes sense.
perimeter, stay out of the aisles. You don't need box stuff. You don't need canned stuff. You just stay the perimeter.
Okay, they need
Um,
to move my coffee to the outer aisle then, because
right. That's stinky.
any of you people who are telling me that I can't have my coffee,
Yeah.
I probably just stopped listening to you because
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it to 56 otherwise. And
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
And I don't have the energy to find another co-host, so we got to keep Rory's coffee going because I just don't have it in me.
I mean, look at the size of that cup. Okay,
Yeah,
this is the third one of these today. Okay,
yeah,
so I'm not playing.
yeah. No, he's not. That's crazy. Um, all right. I have, I think, two more things I want to talk about here. Well, there's like three or four, but I looked at the time and I don't think I can cover
I was going to say, how much longer you want
everything.
the show to be?
Yeah. In fact, maybe I should just cut this off and save these headlines for Thursday because I feel like this next one is going to be pretty in depth. But I'll just give you guys a clue. $600 million caught in a little scheme to rewire the American mind, and this is just what is caught. Okay, I've told you guys that everything is programming, just like big health, big pharma, big tech, big government. It's all working together to benefit each other and they protect each other. Um, but the manipulation that is happening through social media and other things, um, I saw someone get caught for it. So I love that we're calling people out. And now we just need to do it on a really grand scale. But yeah, we'll talk about that Thursday. Um, I have a lot to talk about Thursday, actually. I have a lot of screenshots here to read to you guys, okay? A lot of screenshots. But yeah, I don't know. The fear mongering, I'll talk about that Thursday too, because I just feel like that's what everyone's trying to do to keep everybody scared. And it's not really the truth if you go out and you have a real world experience. Like, you know, don't buy the hype because you know who makes money when you're scared? That's Big Pharma. Because when your body is scared, you're constantly reactive and not feeling good and not regulated. And that's going to hurt your body. And you're going to need the statins for your blood pressure, which they're pulling those, I think. You're going to need whatever tools they have to help because you're not going to take responsibility to just do some research. But yeah, outside of that, Colorado, you disgust me. And I'm sad because my family's there. And my dad has this great property, like 60 acres at the base of the mountain. This just great area. He can't even build on it because of the restrictions that they have. And, Ben, my dad's like, you guys come build something out here. That's all he wants to do. Let's go build out there. And we can't right now. Number one, because the restrictions on building. Like we're going to live in the mountains and have to have a Tesla plug-in in our garage. Make that make sense. Like there's so many ridiculous things now. Like so many ridiculous things that it's not going to happen. And as long as the state is blue, and I don't know. You guys are on my radar. I'm really disappointed in you and everything you're deciding for the future of kids and for the future of the state. And y'all need to do some research on Nebraska and help them become a voice for them. It needs to be talked about because that should be something that's going viral right now. But there's a lot of other things to cover that up. How convenient. How convenient. But I'll let you close us out, sir.
Okay, appreciate that. I want to remind everybody that you need to question your beliefs at this point. You need to question what you're being told. To put a fine point on it, I know folks who are liberals. They're not progressives. They're liberals, and they boil it all down to, well, but I just can't get past the fact that I think abortion should be legal. Okay, this is what your party did with abortion being legal, is that at 9.999 months, you can still, cut the baby out and throw it away with the garbage. That's the slippery slope that you voted for. Is that really what you want? Is that really what your belief says? Um, the people that you voted for are saying it's okay to molest a child once, but not twice. Those are the people you put in power because of your one singular belief. So I think it's time to maybe examine yourself and say, how important is this one singular belief that all these other people, children, women, babies, all have to suffer because you can't admit you were wrong? I think it's time to look in the mirror, wake up, and understand who you have empowered and what's actually happening. And I hope that enough of you do that, that we can start to get rid of some of this stuff. That's that.
Make sure you guys share this episode with someone that is in Nebraska or Colorado or anywhere else. Trying to wake people up. Make sure you've subscribed. Leave a quick review. Love us or hate us. We want to hear about it. Okay. And we'll see you guys Thursday.